No one's asking you to give up your life. All that's expected from me as a Muslim is to practice my religion, to abide by the laws of my religion, and guarantee that future generations will also be practicing this. This is when I will know that Islamophobia is nothing new. This is another point. A third point, my dear brothers and sisters, as Muslims, we have to make sure that we are proud of our faith. We have to make sure that we're proud of our religion. Hold on to that identity. Don't give up your identity. How do you do that? You do that by participating, by coming to the masjid anytime there's a program. Don't say, you know what, I'm too tired, I just came from work. You can't afford to not do these things. You can't afford to not participate. Why? Because your children are not going to learn the value of coming to the masjid. They're not going to learn why it's important to have friends that are Muslim, that have the same belief as them. Participate in these activities. If there are no activities, you make activities. Gather with your friends, gather with family members, and read a page from the Quran and try to analyze it. And try to read the tafsir and try to understand. Resources are there. You can't go to the masjid, it's too far. You have hundreds of lectures, thousands of lectures on YouTube. You have hundreds of books. You have so many resources. You have access to scholars. Take advantage of that. Give yourself that identity. Don't come and say, you know what, some people, they just work at home, work home, that's it. Living like a robot. If you don't give yourself that identity, if you don't give your children that Muslim identity, someone else or some other group, some other ideology is going to come and indoctrinate your children and indoctrinate your family. Teach your children the importance of commemorating Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. You see, here, Halloween season comes, so many movies, so many shows, they're all indoctrinating these children about Halloween. And then you have, other things. Then you have Christmas, then you have other. Teach your children about their religion. Teach your children, teach yourself, practice, celebrate. Take your family on a spiritual vacation. I know many people, they've gone one trip. They go and they visit Imam al-Hussein. They go and they do the ziyarah, they come back and it totally changes their lives. It changes their lives. Their perspective on dunya, on life is totally different. Yes, that money you could have probably spent it to go to Hawaii, to go somewhere else, to go and remodel your home. But because you went and you took your family, you're guaranteeing their future. You're guaranteeing that they're going to remember you. They're going to recite Quran over your grave one day. I've attended a funeral of the children. They don't know how to recite Surah Al-Fatiha for their parents. And their parents, they spent so much money on them. Their parents, they gave them so much. And they sacrificed and they loved. They had unconditional love, but they didn't know where to put that love. They didn't know how to use that love. Where their children don't even know the ABCs of their religion. Another point, my dear brothers and sisters, we have to educate others. As a Muslim living in America, a Muslim living in a predominantly non-Muslim society, I have to educate others about the religion of Islam. This is an opportunity that I have. You have an opportunity. I remember a scholar told me, when I was a young child, I remember I saw a scholar. He came and he told me, keep it in your mind that you will bring 1 million people to the religion of Islam. I said, wow, 1 million people, this is such a big number. But then now I realize it. I have the opportunity. And not only I have the opportunity, every single one of you, every single one of us has the opportunity to educate, to guide people. Because you're living in a predominantly non-Muslim society where people don't know, and most of the people, they want to know about the religion of Islam. Because the Islam that they're being taught is wrong. And most of the people, they want to learn about the religion of Islam. And you don't need to teach people about the religion of Islam by going out and giving lectures and knocking on people's doors. No. You could teach people the Islamic values by being a decent person, by being a truthful person, by being an honest person, by showing people the humanitarian dimension of the religion of Islam. This is what Rasulullah says. Al-Muslim man salima an-nasu min yadihi wa lisanah. A Muslim is the one who people are safe from their tongue and their hand. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, he says that the Muslim is not the one who prays and fasts and go to Hajj. The Muslim is the person who can be trusted and the person who is truthful. This is what a Muslim is. This is how you invite people to the religion of Islam. And this is what the Quran says. Id'u ila sabili rabbik. Invite people for the sake of your Lord. Bil-hikmati wal-maw'idhati al-hasanah wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. What are the tools that you need to invite people to the religion of Islam? One is with wisdom, bil-hikmah. Wal-maw'idhati al-hasanah, and good admonishments. And third, وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. If you have to debate, debate in the best way possible. Some people immediately, they come and they start cursing and they want to fight and you're a kafir and you're this and you're that. No, you don't even need to debate. If you see someone wanting to debate with you, that's it, go. That's not your task to be a debater. Your task is to be living the life of a Muslim, to follow and uphold the values of the religion of Islam. This is one duty that we have. Another very important duty is activism. You find there are some Muslims that have been living here for 30, 40, 50 years, and not one day have they voted, not one day have they participated in an election, not one day they have voiced their opinion. They're sitting in a box, and that's it. They come and they do their activities here, they eat their curry here, they do whatever they have to do, and that's it. They go home. Nothing else. The whole world is advancing around them, they don't do anything. This is a wrong mentality, my dear brothers and sisters. And I know perhaps some people, they'll come and they'll say, oh, but this is a non-Muslim and you're supporting the kafir and you're doing this and that and don't vote. When you don't vote, do you know what happens? When you don't participate, I'm not saying it has to be an issue of the national elections. It could be a local election. It could be a local, your mayor, someone who's representing you in your council. You know what happens when you don't vote? Someone else is going to speak on your behalf. You're paying the taxes, but someone else is going to come and speak on your behalf. So you're giving someone else your voice, and you're not saying anything. And this could be haram from a perspective. How? It could be haram because you're not doing amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy al munkar. There is a slight possibility that you can, if you can't change the foreign policy of a country, you can't change something so big, at least in your local community, in your city council, you have the voice. And this is what the religion of Islam teaches us. Even if we're living in a non-Muslim atmosphere, in a non-Muslim society, we have to voice our opinions. If something wrong is going on around us, I come and I speak out against the wrong. How do you do this? How do you do that? Through participating. You do that through voicing yourself, through giving your voice and the voice of the Muslim community. And this is what we see the religion of Islam teaches us. Children or men, they all spoke out against the injustice. And this is what we learned from Arba'een. Arba'een teaches us the role of the family of Imam al-Hussein. In Ashura, we learn about the role of Imam al-Hussein. He spoke against injustice. But these days, we learn lessons from the family, from the young daughters of Imam al-Hussein, who not once did they complain. Not once did they say, why does this have to happen to us? Not once did they say, we're being attacked. They were always defending the truth. They were always upholding the values and the legacy of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And this is how we should be. In any scenario, in any time that we have to make sure that we stand with the truth. Syed Zainab alayhi salam, she was taken as a captive from city to city. Just by hearing that, that breaks the heart of a mu'min. To know that Zainab, the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the daughter of Fatima al-Zahra, she had to be paraded from town to town across the Muslim land. Zainab alayhi salam, she loved Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. She was so attached to Imam al-Hussein. He was the last reminder of Rasulullah, the last reminder of Amir al-Mu'mineen, of Fatima al-Zahra, of Imam al-Hassan. Now she sees Imam al-Hussein is in this state on the day of Ashura. Zainab alayhi salam, she was so attached to Imam al-Hussein that she made a condition on her wedding. On her wedding, she made a condition with Abdullah ibn Ja'far. What was the condition? The condition was that Zainab stays with Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Wherever Imam al-Hussein goes, Zainab goes with Imam al-Hussein. She does not separate from Imam al-Hussein. This is why on the day of Ashura, Zainab, her husband Abdullah ibn Ja'far, he stayed in Medina, but she went. She went with Imam al-Hussein because Zainab, she completes the message and the legacy of Imam al-Hussein. Zainab alayhi salam, one day after her wedding, Imam al-Hussein used to come and visit her every day. After she had moved out of the house, he used to come and visit her every day. One day, Imam al-Hussein, he comes and he visits her. He sees Zainab, she's sleeping. And the sun is on her face through the window. It's striking on her face while she's sleeping. So Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he goes and he stands in front of the sun to protect Zainab from the sun. To protect Zainab from the heat of the sun. Zainab alayhi salam, she opens her eyes and she realizes what Imam al-Hussein is doing. So she keeps it in mind that one day she has to also do the same for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. What day was that? That was on the day of Ashura, after Imam al-Hussein was killed. Zainab, she walked into the battlefield. She saw the body of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. The body of Imam al-Hussein was in the worst shape possible. All of the other companions, even Bani Hashim, their bodies were not mutilated. The body of Imam al-Hussein was mutilated. The Imam al-Sadiq, he says the body of Imam al-Hussein was struck 1,000 times. They tell him, how can a body be struck 1,000 times? He says, الضرب على الضربة والطعن على الطعنة. A stab over a stab and a wound over a wound. This is what they did to the body of Imam al-Hussein. Zainab, she comes, she looks at the body, a mutilated body with a broken ribs, a broken chest. She sees there's no head, the clothes have been ripped off the body. She sits next to the body of Aba Abdullah and she begins to call out Rasulullah. وجده ومحمدا صلت عليك مليك السماء هذا حسينك بالعرى مقطع الأعضاء وبناتك سبايا. Oh Rasulullah, this is your grandson Hussein. This is Hussein who you used to take on your own chest. Look at his chest is broken. Then she begins to cry over the body of Imam al-Hussein. Then she places her hands beneath the body of Imam al-Hussein and she raises that mutilated body of Aba Abdullah. And she says, Allahumma taqabbal minna hadha al-qurban. Oh Allah, accept from Al Muhammad the sacrifice for the sake of your religion, for the sake of the faith. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Let us raise our hands in dua by the love and honor and glory of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. These days, there are millions of the zawar, of the lovers of Imam al-Hussein. They are walking. On these days, they're walking. They're still walking toward the grave of Aba Abdullah. And their only aim and their only objective in that mission, in that journey, is so that their eyes fall on the dome of Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein and the shafa'ah of Imam al-Hussein. We ask Allah to protect the zuwar of Imam al-Hussein. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك غافر الخطيئات إنك على كل شيء قدير. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات نهدي ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلوات. صل على يا حسين.